I was helping my son through rehab, driving 40 minutes every day. His wife sat me down and said, "We appreciate it, but you're not needed anymore." My son just said, "It's better if you let us handle things." 2 weeks later, he relapsed. When they called me crying, begging for help, I told them I'm a 59-year-old mother from Evansville, Indiana. I raised 2 boys mostly on my own. My husband died when I was 34. Car crash on the I-69, drunk driver. After that, it was just me, working double shifts at the hospital and trying to hold the house together. My younger son, Cody, was always the sensitive one. He cried a lot as a kid. Didn't like loud noises. Always needed extra hugs at night. He started using when he was 22. First it was painkillers from a dirt bike accident. Then when those ran out, he moved on to whatever he could get. By 25, he was on meth. That first time I found him curled up in my garage, I thought he was dead. I carried him into the house myself. No help. Just me. I'd been in and out of emergency rooms, rehab meetings, courtrooms, and jail visitation rooms for over a decade. He would get clean for a few months, then fall again. Each time, I told myself, this time it'll stick. Last March, he called me around 2 a.m. I still have the voicemail saved. His voice was thin, shaky. "Mom, I can't do this anymore. I want to go to rehab. Please help me. Please." That call broke me and gave me hope at the same time. I got him into a facility in Owensboro, Kentucky. 40 minutes each way. I made that drive at least 4 times a week. Sometimes more. I brought him clean socks, handwritten notes, his favorite peanut butter crackers. I sat in the family support groups, even when I was the only parent who showed up. I cried in those folding chairs more times than I care to admit. I defended him when people said he was a lost cause. I fought for his job, paid off his debts when his dealer slashed his tires, and I lied to people when they asked why he didn't come to Christmas. Then, about 6 weeks into his treatment, his wife Trisha decided to get more involved. Trisha never liked me. We always had this cold politeness between us. She once told Cody I smothered him. I didn't push back. I figured if she was there for him, that's all that mattered. One Tuesday afternoon, she asked to speak with me after family therapy. We sat outside the rehab center on a wooden bench. It was chilly but sunny. She was holding a Starbucks cup and wearing those tight yoga pants she always wore. First off, she started, smiling tight, "I just want to say thank you. You've really stepped up. We appreciate that." I nodded slowly. I already knew something was off. But, she continued, "We've been talking to his counselor, and we feel like Cody's doing better when you're not here so much." I looked at her. "What are you saying?" "We think it's time for you to take a step back. Let us manage things from here." Then Cody walked up. He had that nervous look on his face, like when he used to get caught sneaking out. Only this time, he wasn't guilty. He was cold. "Mom," he said, "I need to do this with Trisha. It's better if you let us handle things." That hit me like a punch to the gut. I stared at him, hoping he'd take it back, tell me he didn't mean it. He didn't. He just looked down at his shoes. So I said nothing. Just nodded, got in my car, and drove home. I didn't sleep that night. I walked circles around the living room, staring at his old pictures on the wall, trying to understand where it all went wrong. The next morning, I texted him, "I love you. I'm always here if you need me." He never replied. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Trisha. It was chaos in the background. Sirens, yelling. "He's overdosed," she screamed into the phone. They found him behind the Marathon station. His lips were blue. "They're taking him to Deaconess. I don't know if he's gonna make it." 15 minutes later, Cody called from a hospital line. His voice was broken. "Mom. I'm sorry. I need you. Please come. I messed up. I stood in the kitchen holding the phone. My legs were shaking. Part of me wanted to drop everything, grab my keys, and run to him like I always did. But I didn't. I took a deep breath and said quietly, "You told me I wasn't needed." So I let go. After I hung up the phone, I sat at the kitchen table and stared at nothing. My hands were still shaking. The guilt came fast, like a wave. I'd never turned my back on Cody before. Never. Not even when he stole from me. Not even when he cussed me out in the middle of Walmart because I wouldn't give him cash. But this time was different. This time, he asked me to leave. Told me it was better if I wasn't involved. And now, suddenly, I was supposed to drop everything because he changed his mind? I didn't go to the hospital. Instead, I sat there all night, sipping cold coffee and staring out the window. At around 6 a.m., Trisha texted, "He's stable. But he's out of rehab. They won't take him back." I didn't reply. That week, silence. No calls, no messages from either of them. I thought maybe they were ashamed. Or angry. Maybe both. Then on Sunday, someone knocked on my door. I opened it and there they were, Cody and Trisha, standing on my porch like a pair of ghosts. Cody looked awful. Pale, hollow-eyed. His hands were shaking. Trisha had dark circles under her eyes. They looked broken. "I'm sorry," Cody whispered. "I screwed everything up." He started crying, right there on the porch. I didn't say anything. Just let him cry. Trisha stood behind him, arms folded, saying nothing. After a minute, he looked up. "We don't have anywhere to go. Can we stay with you? Just until I figure things out?" It felt like time stopped. I thought about the years I gave up for him. The holidays I spent alone. The lies I told to protect him. The things I lost. And then I remembered that bench outside rehab and how easily he pushed me away. "You said I wasn't needed," I said. "You made that choice." "I was wrong," he said. "Please." I stepped outside and closed the door behind me so the neighbors wouldn't hear. "You let Trisha speak for you. You let her treat me like some overbearing old woman when I was the only one showing up. You needed me when it was convenient, then tossed me aside like garbage when it wasn't. And now you want to move into my house like nothing happened?" "I'm not asking to stay forever," he said. "Just until I get clean again." Trisha finally spoke. "He needs structure. You have that. I don't." I looked at her, dead in the eyes. He had structure. I gave him that. You didn't want it. She didn't respond. "I can't keep saving you," I told Cody. "Because every time I do, you throw it in my face." Then I looked him dead in the eyes and said something I never thought I'd say. "If you want to stay sober, go figure it out on your own. I already did my part. I'm done." Then I walked back inside and closed the door. The porch stayed quiet for a while. I didn't look out the window. I just stood behind the door and listened. Eventually, I heard them walk off. A few days later, I found out they were sleeping in Trisha's car behind a Walmart across town. I didn't reach out. But then I got a message from Trisha's sister on Facebook. It said, "You're really gonna let your son live like a homeless junkie? Some mother you are." That's when things took a turn. And I realized this wasn't over yet. That message from Trisha's sister lit something in me. Some mother I am? I wanted to scream. I wanted to drive to that Walmart, drag them out of the car, and show the world exactly what being a mother had cost me. But I didn't. Instead, I stared at the screen and felt this cold, deep shift inside me. The kind of shift that happens when you realize people don't just use you, they blame you when they fall. I didn't reply. I deleted the message and blocked her. 2 days later, someone egged my house. It happened around 2 a.m. I heard the splatter, then laughter. I looked outside and saw a car speeding off. The next morning, there were broken eggs on my siding, on my windshield, even in my flower bed. I didn't have proof, but I knew who it was. Trisha had a younger cousin who used to hang around Cody. Dumb kid. Always high, always talking big. That same day, I got a voicemail from Cody. I hadn't heard his voice since that porch visit. He sounded cold. Blaming. You really showed your true colors, Mom. You think just 'cause you helped for a few weeks you're some kind of saint? You think this is helping me? Abandoning me? He paused, then added, I hope you're proud. Because if I end up dead, at least you can say you let go. Right? Click. I stood there, holding my phone, staring at the wall. He was trying to make me the villain. After everything I did. After every sleepless night, every mile driven, every dollar spent. Now I was the problem? That night, I drove to a storage unit I'd been renting on the south side. Inside were years of Cody's things. His baby books. Drawings. Rehab discharge papers. A file folder full of court documents. I pulled it all out, every last piece. I went home, boxed it up, and mailed it to him. I didn't write a note. I didn't say a word. Just as passed, in a brown cardboard box. 3 days later, Trisha showed up at my job. She waited outside the hospital parking lot and cornered me as I was leaving for the night. She looked like hell, hair greasy, makeup smeared, bags under her eyes. Are you happy now? She snapped. He's using again. Sleeping behind a bowling alley now. He's gonna die and it's on you. I stayed calm. No, I said. It's on you. You wanted me out. You made sure he thought I was the problem. Well, you got what you wanted. You're evil, she hissed. You don't deserve to call yourself his mother. She spit on the ground near my feet and walked off. The next morning, I filed for a no-contact order. I also filed a police report for the egging, just in case. I gave them the name of Trisha's cousin. I don't know if anything came of it, but it was in the system now. A week later, I got a call from someone I didn't expect, Pastor Ray. He runs a halfway house out in Vincennes. Said Cody showed up there drunk, begging for a place to stay. We usually don't take them in when they're using, he told me. But I've known Cody a long time. I remember him as a boy. Figured I'd try one more time. But he's rough, ma'am. Angry. Says some real dark things. I told him the truth. I can't be part of it anymore. He has to want it. Ray understood. I'll keep him a few days. After that, it's up to him. A week passed. Then 2. I didn't hear a word. Then someone sent me a screenshot from Facebook. It was a post from Cody. Funny how the people who claim to love you the most are the ones who disappear when you need them. Thanks for nothing, Mom. Hope your clean house and nice car keep you warm at night while I freeze. Hundreds of likes. Dozens of comments. People calling me selfish. Cold. Heartless. Some of them were family. One even wrote, no wonder he's like this. Look at who raised him. I didn't cry. I just sat there shaking. They all thought they knew the story. But they didn't know about the overdoses. The theft. The screaming matches. The police at 3 a.m. They didn't know about the time I pulled needles out of his sock drawer. Or the time he tried to sell my wedding ring. And now they were turning me into the villain in his twisted little story? No. No more. If they wanted to see what a real villain looked like, I'd show them. I gave it one more week. One more week of silence. One more week of getting side eyes at work from people who'd seen the post. One more week of wondering if maybe I was a monster. Then, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I sat down, wrote everything out. From the first pill bottle to the last overdose. Every rehab. Every lie. Every time I found him passed out or stealing from me. I wrote dates, places, receipts. I even printed out screenshots from texts, voicemails, copies of court filings. Then I went online. I posted a reply to his Facebook rant. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I just told the truth. Cody, I've loved you through every relapse, every lie, every time you begged and then broke that promise the next day. I showed up when no one else did. I fed you. Drove you. Paid for your lawyers and your rehab. And yes, I let go. Because I was tired of being the only one who wanted your recovery more than you did. To those of you reading this and judging me, you don't know the nights I sat up crying, wondering if today would be the day the police found his body. You don't know the day he screamed in my face and called me a worthless bitch for not giving him drug money. But I do. So if you want to call me cruel, fine. But don't do it until you've buried a husband, worked double shifts to survive, and watched your son rot from the inside out while the world blamed you for not saving him enough. I added photos. One of him passed out in my garage. One of the hole he punched in my wall. One of my arms after he pushed me into a doorframe during a meth fit. It went viral. People were shocked. Some apologized. Others deleted their comments. Trisha's sister took down her account. Even family members started messaging me privately. I had no idea. I'm sorry. I was wrong. But I wasn't finished. The next step came when I spoke to Pastor Ray again. He told me Cody left the halfway house after someone there tried to make him follow rules. He was back on the streets. I told Ray, I'm not coming to get him. But I am going to make sure he can't hurt anyone else while he's falling. That night, I called Trisha's parents. We hadn't spoken in almost a year. I told them everything. I told them about the drug stashes Cody hid in their grandkids' diaper bags. About how he pawned Trisha's engagement ring for $40 and a baggie. About how he forged her name to get pills once. I sent them proof. They were horrified. They had Trisha stay with them. They took the kids. She resisted at first, said I was trying to ruin her life. But when her own mother found meth in her car glove box, that was it. She had a breakdown. Admitted she was using again. They got her into a women's recovery center that same week. Meanwhile, I took out a second no-contact order. This one included my home, my work, and my car. I didn't want him anywhere near me. Then, something strange happened. I got a call from a detective in Henderson. He told me Cody had been arrested for breaking into a pharmacy. Caught on camera trying to steal pills. It was bad. 3 felony charges. He was high when they took him in. They also found Trisha's cousin in the car with him. Passed out, with a trunk full of stolen stuff. Turns out they'd been robbing places up and down Route 60 for weeks. That was the final straw. I gave the detective everything I had. Every message, every voicemail, every printed document. He thanked me. Said the evidence would help build a case. At the trial, I didn't speak. I sat in the back row. Cody looked around for me when they brought him in. I didn't look at him. He got 5 years. Trisha's cousin got 3. Trisha? She's still in rehab. Last I heard, she's finally staying clean. Her mom sends me updates sometimes. Says she wants to write me a letter, apologize. I said I'd think about it. Cody hasn't written me once. But here's what I've learned, sometimes, love means walking away. Not out of spite. Not out of hate. But because people who drown will pull you under with them if you don't let go. It took me 20 years to learn that. And now? Now I sleep at night. My house is quiet. My car is clean. I wake up and drink my coffee in peace. And when people ask me about my son, I tell them the truth, I did everything I could. And when that wasn't enough, I finally saved the one person I still could, myself.